Hey, what's going on, everybody? So if you noticed the thumbnail, you saw a stuck two-wheel drive John Deere tractor. And unfortunately, that is my mom's tractor that I got stuck in kind of her dried up pond area Friday morning. My first day off. I was going to have a 3-day weekend this weekend. And it was gorgeous weather, and probably about 8 a.m. Friday morning, I got her tractor stuck. And it kind of led me to do this video about being stuck financially, because the past 3 days I've worked so hard, put so many hours into digging this tractor out. I've tried every trick on YouTube I've seen, but unfortunately I've gotten nowhere. And I feel like I've experienced this with finance in my mid-20s, and I'm sure a lot of Americans are stuck financially, so let's go with it. So like I said, I've been working on this tractor for 3 days. I literally have 8 to 9 hours of effort into it. I've tried every trick in the book. I've been digging with a small shovel, super muddy, a terrible thing. But it's really frustrating because the tractor is stuck, and no matter what I do, I'm not able to gain any momentum on getting the tractor out. And I feel like that kind of relates to a lot of people's finances as well, because most people aren't broke because they're lazy. Like I said last week, a lot of guys I know work a lot of overtime, and they're still close to paycheck. You know, they're broke because they're trapped. They're broke because of all their bills that they've accumulated, the car payments. They're trapped in lifestyle upgrades that felt good at the time, like putting in a swimming pool or buying that side-by-side. But now they're starting to feel heavy, and it's starting to weigh on them. And here's the dangerous part. You get just comfortable enough to survive, but never free enough to breathe. You never get a break from the bills, from the payments and all that. You're just stuck, but you're constantly working hard, but you're not making any progress, just like me in this old tractor the past 3 days. Because like the tractor, you have to realize why you're stuck. In my situation, it was basically a pond. And these people's situations is because their money comes in every 2 weeks, they get a paycheck, and that money immediately leaves and goes to pay bills and this and that. And you repeat that process every single month. There's no investing, there's no ownership, there's no leverage. It's really just survival. Just the, get paid, pay bills, go get some groceries, repeat every 2 weeks or whenever you get paid. But getting unstuck financially doesn't have to start with more money. It starts with having direction, having a plan. Every dollar needs an assignment, some for living, some for investing, some for future freedom. Even if it's just 1%, start small, invest over time. And like I said before, man, when I was 25 to 27 years old, I made 40 grand a year with a college degree. I didn't make anything. My wife and I lived in like a studio apartment that was over her hairstyle business. We didn't have that many bills. We didn't have new cars or anything like that, but we weren't saving money. And like I said before, one reason for that is because I didn't want to put, just $20 every paycheck into my 401k. I didn't even have a company match at the time. And that's one thing I regret, that I should have just literally said, hey, here's $10. I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to invest it into the S&P 500, VTI, whatever fund it would be at the time. And I'm just going to hold on to it in dollar cost average. And that's one way I really messed up, and that's one thing I regret. But looking back, when I was, 25, 27, like I just said, I was stuck, and it was really, really disheartening, to be honest with you, because I wasn't saving money for retirement and this and that. And I believe a lot of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That's how it was. They're stuck, just like the tractor. I'm working my butt off, but I'm not making any progress, right? So here's what I would do if I was starting over today. One, if you have credit card debt, you have to do everything you can to get that paid off. If it's 28% interest, now if it's 2% interest, yeah, that's fine. Or 0%. But if it's 28% interest, you've got to pay that off somehow, some way. 2 is to build just an emergency fund. Things are going to pop up. Like I said, your car is going to need work. Your air conditioner is going to need to be worked on. Have a couple grand set aside before you start moving on. I know Dave Ramsey says $1,000. Whatever you're comfortable with. Anything is better than putting, your car battery or your car starter repair on a credit card, because that's just going to snowball. It's going to get worse and worse over time. 3 is, like I said, start investing now, not when it feels comfortable. I wasn't comfortable putting $20 a paycheck into a 401k when I didn't even have a company match, but I should have, and I regret that. 4 is to learn how money actually works. This is the thing. Nobody ever taught us how money works. I went to, just a public high school. Man, I don't even remember if they've taught us what interest was. So learn how money works. YouTube's available. Google's available, free. Learn it. Start a plan, essentially. It's not flashy, but it works. So if you're stuck like my mom's tractor and you worked your butt off so far, hours and hours, and you're not getting anywhere, just like me with this stupid tractor, you got to bring in some backup, right? I'm bringing in my brother-in-law with a bigger tractor to help pull it out. But if you're stuck financially, you got to stop saying, you know, I don't make enough. You got to find a way to make that money work, or either find some more income. Unfortunately, there's no sugarcoating that. You got to start asking, you know, what am I building? What are my goals? Do I want to retire at 55, or do I want to work till I die? It's black and white. You can't sugarcoat this stuff, I'm telling you, because paycheck to paycheck isn't a money problem, it's a strategy problem. So one thing I did realize, thankfully, at age 27 or so, was that you aren't meant just to work your whole life at a job you kind of hate just to pay bills and retire on Social Security and be poor. I want more than that. I don't know if you do or not. You are meant to build something, whether you are, you know, a minimum wage employee now at a fast food restaurant, or a registered nurse that just graduated. You have options. Don't let people tell you don't have options. You just got to be willing to hustle. So if you're tired of being stuck, hit subscribe. I know this is a pretty random video, but it was just really funny when that tractor thing happened. I literally worked myself until I was so tired. I was getting workout alerts on my Apple Watch because I was digging so much dirt out. My heart rate was so high. And I didn't get anywhere. I got to call in for backup. So if you're stuck financially, call in for backup. Think outside the box. Find some side hustles. Find some extra income. Tune your budget in. Start saving. Start investing. It's not rocket science. It just takes discipline. I'll see you next week.